Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Today we're going to recap last night's Stanley Cup playoffs and NBA playoff games and look ahead to tonight's games in each playoffs. Major League Baseball will go over the games from yesterday, look ahead to today's games. I'm going to do my post-draft NFL power rankings on today's show. We'll recap American Idol from last night, news and notes, and best bet. We're going to start the Stanley Cup playoffs today just to change things up because last night was the first night of them. We'll go over the results and we will look ahead to day 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hurricanes over the Bruins 5-1 as the Canes take a 1-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with a goal, Nito Niederreiter. Number 2 started game with a goal and assist, Vincent Trocheck. And the number 1 started game with 35 saves on 36 shots, Antti Raanta. Maple Leafs over the Lightning 5-0 to take game 1. Number 3 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Mitch Marner. Number 2 started game with 2 goals and an assist, Austin Matthews. The number 1 started game with a 24-save shutout, Jack Campbell. Blues over the Wild 4-0 to take a 1-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with 3 assists, Torrey Krug. Number 2 started game with 37 saves on 37 shots, Ville Husso. And the number 1 started game with a hat trick and an assist, David Perron. And last but not least, the best game of the evening, Kings over the Oilers 4-3, take a 1-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with the goal and 2 assists, Trevor Moore. Number 2 started game with the goal and assist, Kyler Yamamoto. Number 1 started game with the goal and assist, Philip Deneau. And now tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN, you have the Penguins and the Rangers from the Garden, Game 1. Should be a really fun game tonight at MSG. Rangers' first home playoff game in 5 years. And I believe this is the Penguins' 16th straight year in the postseason, which is absolutely incredible. And that streak can't go overlooked because you're not going to see that again in this league until this Penguin streak's over because of how much turnover and crap there is in the league. Rangers minus 128, Penguins plus 106, over under 5.5, overs plus 102, unders minus 124. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 255, Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 205. I am going to go with, I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to go with the Rangers in regulation at plus 120. 7:30 ESPN 2, the Capitals and the Panthers. Panthers minus 230, Caps plus 188, over under 6.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 128, Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 106. I'm going to go with the contrarian under here at even money. I think that this could be a lower scoring game than people expect. And I think this is where the value lies. So I like the under. 9:30 ESPN Preds Avs. No juicy sorrows for the first 2 games. Unfortunately, because of injury. Avs minus 315. Nashville plus 250 over under 6.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Nashville plus 1.5 is plus 105. Avs minus 1.5 is minus 128. Same deal with the Panthers game. I like the under. There could be some nerves in this game. So I kind of like the under. And 10 o'clock, ESPN 2, Stars, Flames. Flames minus 325. Stars plus 184 over under 5.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 134. Flames minus 1.5 is plus 112. I'm going to go with the under. I think Jacob Markstrom will play a good game 1. I think Jake Ottinger will play well too. So I'm going to go under 5.5 for that one. All right, NBA playoffs. We will go over the results from last night and look ahead to tonight's 2 semifinal games. Heat over the 76ers, 106-92. Take a 1-0 series lead without Joel Embiid. Tyler Herro, 25 points and 7 assists. Tobias Harris had 27 for Philly. Suns over the Mavericks, 121-114. DeAndre Ayton, 25 points for Phoenix, and Luka Doncic couldn't do it by himself. 45 points, 12 boards, and 8 assists. And that score wasn't as close as it may have indicated. Looking ahead tonight, 7 o'clock on TNT of the Bucs and the Celtics. My projection is Boston by 6 in the quarter, total 221 in the 20th. No Chris Middleton again. And we have 4.5 and 215.5. I like the over. I think this series could be higher scoring. I think Boston's offense will bounce back. And I think that Giannis will continue his fine play. 9:30 TNT Warriors Grizzlies. My projection is Memphis by 3 3/4, total 221. And 9:20 and it's Warriors by 2, total 227.5. I don't know why the Warriors keep getting favoritism in the betting. Memphis should be favored in the home games here, and they're not. But that said, I'm going to go with the under. I think both teams' defenses will play a lot better. I do think that Memphis and the under is a good same-game combination, though. I think in terms of who wins the games, I think the Celtics and the Grizzlies both even up their respective series at 1 apiece. All right, now I'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the results from yesterday's small window, and we will look ahead to tonight's games. Cardinals over the Royals, 1-0. Cards, 13-9. KC, 7-14. Steven Matz the win. Zach Greinke the loss. Giovanni Gallegos, his 5th save of the year. Paul Goldschmidt homered for the Cards in the first inning. White Sox over the Angels, 3-0. White Sox 9-13. Angels 15-9. Dylan Cease the win. Patrick Sandoval the loss. Liam Hendricks the save. D-backs over the Marlins 5-4. D-backs 11-13. Marlins 12-10. Zach Gallen the win. Pablo Lopez the loss. And Kennedy to save. David Peralta homered in this game for Zona. Twins over the Royals 2-1. Twins 14-9. Baltimore 8-15. Chris Paddock the win. Brian Baker the loss. And Johan Duran the save. Yankees over the Blue Jays 3-2. Yankees 17-6. Toronto 15-9. Clay Holmes the win. Yimi Garcia the loss. And Chad Green gets his first save of the year. Gleyber Torres drove in all 3 runs for the Yankees tonight, by the way, including a 2-run homer. Braves over the Mets 5-2. Braves 11-13. Mets 16-8. Max Fried the win. Chris Bassett the loss. And Kenley Jansen the save. Mark Hanna and Austin Riley homered for the respective teams. Astros over the Mariners 3-0. Astros 12-11. Seattle 12-11. Jake Odorizzi to win. Marco Gonzalez the loss. And Rafael Montero the save. Homers in this game: Yordan Alvarez and Jeremy Pena. Rays over the A's 6-1. Tampa 13-10. Oakland 10-13. Drew Rasmussen the win and Dalton Jeffries the loss. Lone homer in this game was by Yandy Diaz of the Rays. All right, now we have a busier slate tonight at 3 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Game 1 of a doubleheader. You got the Braves and the Mets from City. Charlie Morton and Carlos Carrasco, which should be a fun game. Mets minus 120, Braves plus 102, over under 7, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 180, Mets plus 1.5 is minus 220. Braves favored on the run line, Mets favored on the money line. I'm going with the Braves on the money line at plus 102 again. 6 o'clock, the Padres and the Guardians. Mike Clevenger pitching for the first time in a long time against his former team. And Zach Plesac's going for the Guardians. Padres minus 142, Guardians plus 120, over under 8, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 126, Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 152. I'm sorry, I gotta go with the Guardians. We don't know what Mike Clevenger's gonna look like. I mean, are we sure he's still good? We'll find out tonight and throughout the season. 6:30, D-backs Marlins. Humberto Castellanos and Trevor Rogers. Miami's minus 168. D-backs plus 102. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 150. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 125. I like the over a lot in this game. Game 2, Braves-Mets. Kyle Wright and David Peterson. I don't have the betting odds up on FanDuel. Maybe DraftKings will have them. But, if anything, I'll bet on the Mets in the second game if they lose the first one somehow. Like, live bet the Mets or maybe the run line or something. Mets lead through 5, something like that. 6:45, you have the Phillies against the Rangers. FanDuel doesn't have it, but DraftKings does. It's Rangers Suarez against John Gray. Phil's minus 165. Rangers plus 145. Over under 8.5. Minus 110 each way. Phil's minus 1.5 is plus 110. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 130. I like the over a lot in this game. 7 o'clock, you have the Twins and the Orioles from Camden Yards. Joe Ryan and Bruce Zimmerman. The Twins are favored in this matchup. Minus 166. Orioles plus 140. Over under 7. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 104. Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 125. For this game, I am going to go with a first half result tie at plus 440. Yankees, Blue Jays. Jameson Taillon and Alek Manoah for the first time this year. The New York Yankees are an underdog in a game. Toronto's minus 138. Yanks are plus 118. Over under 10. Minus 10 each way. Yankees plus 1.5 is minus 196. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 162. It's rare when you see a team that's won 10 straight games as an underdog. That tells you hashtag Vegas knows. I thought they were going to lose yesterday, but they ended up winning. Good for them. But I think that it comes to an end tonight, finally. But for first half result, even money for the Blue Jays is going to be my pick. Just in case the Yankees come back and win courtesy of the bullpen of Toronto, or their bullpen's just better, which it is. 7 o'clock as well, Angels, Red Sox from Fenway. Noah Syndergaard and Michael Wacha. So 2 blasts from the past names here. Angels minus 130, Red Sox plus 110, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Angels minus 1.5 is plus 134. Boston plus 1.5 is minus 162. I'm going with the over. I think one of them blows up tonight. I don't know which one. Pirates, Tigers. Talk about a terrible matchup. Bryce Wilson and Michael Pineda. It's amazing that Pittsburgh's only 4 under 500. Tigers minus 144, Pittsburgh plus 122, over under 8, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 170, Detroit minus 1.5 is plus 140. I'm going with the under. 7:30, White Sox Cubs from Wrigley, Michael Kopech and Drew Smyly. White Sox minus 136, Cubs plus 116, over under 6.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 136, Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 164. I'm going to go first half result, White Sox plus 105. Reds, Brewers, Tyler Mahle and Brandon Woodruff. Milwaukee minus 290, Reds plus 235, over under 7.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 104, Brewers minus 1.5 is minus 115. I'm going with the over. Both of these guys have not pitched to their standards yet this season. 8 o'clock, Mariners, Astros. Chris Flexen and Christian Javier. Astros minus 164, Mariners plus 138, over under 8.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 152, Astros minus 1.5 is plus 126. It's a little juicy, but I'm going to go with the under. Cardinals, Royals. Dakota Hudson and Brad Keller. Cardinals minus 116, Royals minus 102, over under 7, overs minus 122, unders even money. Cards minus 1.5 is plus 158, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 192. I'm going to go with First half result tie plus 440. 8:30 Nationals Rockies. Eric Feed and Herman Marquez. Rockies minus 162. Nats plus 136. Over under 10.5. Minus 110 each way. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 140. Rockies minus 1.5 is plus 116. I'm going with the under. That's too high. 9:30 Rays Athletics. Ryan Yarbrough making the season debut against Paul Blackburn. Rays minus 126. A's plus 108. Over under 7. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 140. A's plus 1.5 is minus 170. The reason why Oakland has been a little better than expected so far is they're starting pitching. So, for the game, I'm going to go Oakland to win out. 108. I want to take first half. But, it's not available to me. So I'll just go out right here. And on 10 o'clock on TBS, great game. Great series. Giants-Dodgers. Big prove-it test for San Francisco early on. Carlos Rodon against Julio Urias. Dodgers minus 148. Giants plus 126. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 184. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 152. I'm going to go with first half result tie for this one. For some reason, it's not loading. Here we go. So it's 4-1 first half tie. I like it. For a rivalry game like this, just go for it. All right, NFL Power Rankings. Post-draft edition. I'm going to go from 32-1, as I usually do. And then I'll say what tier each team belongs. Number 32, the Houston Texans. They belong in the tank tier. They're going to be terrible this year. Number 31, the Detroit Lions also belong in the tank tier. Number 30, the Atlanta Falcons also belong in the tank tier. Number 29, the New York Football Giants. They also belong in the tank tier. And number 28, the New York Jets. I don't know if they're going to be in the tank tier because the Jets might try to, they might actually try to win a little bit, even though their division is so brutal that brutal in a hard way that they might have no choice but to tank anyway. So I'm going to put them in the tank group. Number 27 is the Chicago Bears. This is the first team I have out of the tank group. I'm going to put them as not quite there yet. This team has a ton of holes. Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields, but I don't think that he's in a good spot to succeed yet. Number 26, the Carolina Panthers. They are in this tier because they can go out and still try to improve their team by upgrading a quarterback, whether it's Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo. And the same for number 25 on this list, the Seattle Seahawks. They also belong in that group. And you could argue Atlanta should be in that group as well. But they just have way more problems than Seattle and Carolina and even the Bears too. They just have way more problems. So, Seahawks to me are not quite there yet. 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars. they're in the could surprise tier. Trevor Lawrence could be this year's Joe Burrow, and that's quite scary. And they went out and spent a lot of money this year, so could be. We'll see. Number 23, the Washington Commanders. They're also in the could surprise category. Maybe Carson Wentz finds some fountain of youth, and Terry McLaurin plays well, and they take advantage of a weaker division, take advantage of the Giants, and actually try. 22, the Cleveland Browns. They are what I'm going to call a different group of contenders tier. It would be considered disappointing if they don't make the playoffs tier. They trade for Deshaun Watson, trade a lot to get him, and he might get suspended. Number 21, the Miami Dolphins. They trade a lot for Tyreek Hill. They're trying to make the playoffs. Number 20, the Minnesota Vikings. Should easily be the second best team in this division. Should challenge Green Bay for first, quite frankly, with the talent they have on their roster. 19, the Baltimore Ravens. I think people are overlooking the loss of Hollywood Brown. They have no real threat on offense other than Mark Andrews. So it's going to be interesting to see who breaks out as a wide receiver on the Ravens this year. Number 18, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they have a rookie quarterback and all, but look at the team around him. Kenny Pickett's in a good spot to succeed. The only weakness on Pittsburgh is the offensive line, which there could be some guys that make year two jumps on that line or improve. In 17, the Tennessee Titans are also a playoff hopeful. Even though they just traded away A.J. Brown. They still have Ryan Tannehill. They're going to sell you that Treylon Burks can replace the production that A.J. Brown left behind. And then Derrick Henry, healthy a whole year. Good offensive line. So we'll see about that. And 16, the New Orleans Saints. Another playoff hopeful. This one coming from the NFC. Jameis Winston back. If he didn't get hurt, they would have made the playoffs last year. All right, the next tier is two teams. They probably should be considered playoff hopefuls. One is and the other's not. But they belong in the same tier. 15, the Green Bay Packers. 14, the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's just call this the Devontae Adams tier. His old team and his new team. They're a little bit wild cardy to me. A favorite in the division and a team that folks think is the last place team. So, it's funny that I have a last place team ahead of a first place team in theory here. And that's because of how loaded the AFC West is. Next group on this list, two teams are that I'm going to talk about next are Tier 2 AFC contenders. And these next group of teams, it's a big group, are Tier 2 contenders. Number 13, New England Patriots. Mac Jones, some people think will be the Year 2 rookie breakout quarterback. Or Year 2 breakout quarterback. Someone that was rookie last year, I mean. 12, the Denver Broncos. They go out and get Russell Wilson, so they expect to be a playoff team. Number 11, the Philadelphia Eagles go out and get A.J. Brown. They expect big things. Number 10, Arizona Cardinals. Despite the DeAndre Hopkins suspension, which we'll talk about in news and notes, they get Hollywood Brown to keep Kyler happy. And there's some guys that I like that they took in the draft. Number 9, the Indianapolis Colts. They get the quarterback upgrade from Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan. so that should work in their favor, especially in a weak division. Number 8, the Kansas City Chiefs. Your AFC runners-up from a year ago. They lose Tyreek Hill. That's still going to peck them down for me. Number 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. Why aren't they Tier 1? Well, I know why. Because you can make a case that they should have lost all 3 of their playoff games a year ago. And I know you'll say you could argue they should have won the Super Bowl too. But very lucky to get to the Super Bowl, I thought, with the Bills leaving time for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs absolutely collapsing in the second half of the AFC title game. And that's nothing to take away from Cincinnati. I thought they had a great year. They should be the AFC North favorites. But I just don't think they're a Tier 1 contender, that's all. And as much as they improve their offensive line and everything. And Joe Burrow is amazing. Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys should be still the AFC or the NFC East favorites, even though the Eagles went out and got A.J. Brown. They're still the team to beat in the division. Good offense. Still have some holes, but the Cowboys are a team that has the best quarterback in the division, easy, hands down, and has a decent offensive line, but a unit that's not as good as it once was. And the last Tier 2 contender, number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. They're Tier 2 because of the uncertainty of quarterback. If it's Trey Lance, then they're in the wild card category with Vegas and with Green Bay. But if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, they belong here. And I'm assuming it's Jimmy G. And I think that there's some holes on the roster and the Deebo Samuel thing, which to me is why another reasons why they're not Tier 1. And in Tier 1 contenders, number 4, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady's back. They automatically belong in Tier 1 and don't have many holes on the roster. Number 3, the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is the team to beat in the AFC West. You can't convince me otherwise. They go out and get Khalil Mack to improve their pass rush. They improve their offensive line. Justin Herbert's a star. And this offense is really awesome. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills, I think, is the team to beat in the AFC. They go out and sign Von Miller in free agency, which was stunning. Josh Allen's amazing. Their offense is great. And number 1, I mean, come on. It's the Los Angeles Rams. They just won the Super Bowl. They still belong at number 1. Matthew Stafford. Aaron Donald's coming back. They probably won't have Odell because of the torn ACL, but that's okay. They replace him with Allen Robinson. And combination of him and Robert Woods with Allen Robinson. And we forgot to talk about Robert Woods for Tennessee. But I have questions about him and whether he'll be the same guy. But the Rams are number 1 until proven otherwise because they have a team full of rock stars still. Alrighty, now I'll talk about last night's episode of American Idol. It was a really great show, I felt, for a reunion. I have something to nitpick in the show, which we'll get to in a second. So the opening appearance was Lacey K. Booth and Lane Hardy from season 19. And they performed Stop Dragging My Heart Around by Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. They were really good. And before the next performance, we had surprise appearances sitting in the judges' booth with Katy Perry, Randy Jackson, and Paula Abdul. And the skit was that Lionel and Luke sat out people in our seats, and then Ryan introduced Randy and Paula, and they got a big hand. But my bone to pick, where the hell was Simon? I mean, come on. That was my biggest disappointment, that we didn't see Simon Cowell. And then Randy and Paula introduced Ruben Studdard and Jordan Sparks, and they performed I Knew You Were Waiting for Me by Aretha Franklin and George Michael. Excellent performance. And then Ryan Seacrest has a surprise appearance from somebody. I was convinced he was going to say the name Simon Cowell. He said William Hung, the viral sensation from Idol from a long time ago, performing She Bangs. Gotta love William Hung. He was an all-timer on Idol. It was good to see him. And then next up, 2018 winner, Maddie Poppy. Or I'm sorry, Lane Hardy wasn't season 19 winner. He was a season 17 winner. Maddie, I'm thinking 2019. So, he was season 17 winner. Season 16 winner, Maddie Poppy, and her boyfriend and runner-up, Caleb Lee Hutchinson, performed Islands in the Stream by Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. They were excellent. And making a surprise appearance were the girls that went viral. Huge David Archuleta fans from season 6. And he lost to David Cook. Ryan Seacrest brings out these girls, and then he brings out David Archuleta, who dyed his hair blonde and couldn't sing because he had vocal surgery. Literally couldn't talk and was having Siri talk for him. It was good to see David Archuleta. And then performed David Cook and Chris Allen, seasons 7 and 8 winners. David Archuleta, season 7 runner-up. Season 6 winner was Jordan Sparks. Season 2 was Ruben. 3 was Fantasia. 4 was Carrie Underwood. 5 was Taylor Hicks. 6 was Jordan. 7 was David Cook. And 8 was Chris Allen. So, seasons 7 and 8 winners, David Cook and Chris Allen, performed Dreams by the Cranberries. And those two have been touring together, which is pretty cool. And they have good chemistry when they perform together. And then last season's runner-up and third-place finisher, Grace Kinsler and Willie Spence, performed Rather Be by Clean Bandit and Jess Glynn. And then at the end of the show, we had a surprise appearance by season 1 runner-up Justin Guarini, whose name I said by mistake on yesterday's podcast. But ultimately, I was right in theory in terms of the name of who actually came. And then Ryan Seacrest came out with the blonde wig, which was dumb. And then he had Guarini introduce the final performers of the night, Lauren Elena and Scotty McCreery, as they performed When You Say Nothing at All by Allison Krauss and Union Station. McCreery was the season 10 winner? Yeah, because Lead the Wise was season 9. That was Simon's last year. And then McCreery was season 10. And Lauren Elena was the runner-up in season 10. So it was a fun show. Good seeing a lot of familiar faces. I thought there was more we were going to see. I thought potentially Bo Bice, Constantine Maroulis, Chris Daughtry, maybe. That would have been great. Kelly and Carrie doing a performance together would have been amazing. It'd be fun to see somebody like Taylor Hicks. I'm surprised Just Sam wasn't there, who was the COVID season winner, which was season 18. Arthur Gunn, who was the runner-up of that season. So, a couple names I want to throw out. Oh, and one more shout-out. Lauren Spencer Smith of season 18, obviously now known for her song Fingers Crossed, which got really popular on TikTok and now is a popular radio song. And obviously Seacrest, who has a radio show on Z100 Monday through Friday mornings from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Obviously Seacrest, the connection there. I mean, it was surprising that she wasn't on the show. Maybe she'll appear in a later episode. It would be great to see Lauren Spencer Smith perform Fingers Crossed live. So that's something that I wanted to point out really quickly. So, fun episode of Idle last night, and now move on to news and notes. Just going to skim through some stuff, and there's something I want to touch on. About a non-sports issue, which we'll get to. Justin Ross is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs after going undrafted due to concerns over spinal condition. That's the best undrafted free agent signee. Easy. Justin Ross is going to be in contention for the Rookie of the Year. Mark my words, guys. We talked about UC Soros being out the first 2 games because of injury against the Avs. Rudy Gobert talks the rumors going around that he could demand the Jazz to trade him or Donovan Mitchell, which was interesting. Amani Bates narrows his list of teams to transfer to, including Michigan, Louisville, and a couple of others. So whoever gets him, I think is going to get a boost. Robinson Cano designated for assignment by the Mets. Despite owing him $40 million over the next 2 seasons. This isn't surprising. The Michael K. Show was talking about it maybe a week ago or so. So, it's going to be interesting to see if he plays another game in Major League Baseball. Buck Showalter suspended a game after the league deemed reliever Jan Lopez intentionally threw at Kyle Schwarber on Sunday night. And then MLB umpire Chad Fairchild admitted to a mistake he made as a missed strike in the Mets-Braves game. I don't think it really impacted the result of the game that much because it was in the beginning of the game and the starter was still out. We talked about it in the Power Rankings. DeAndre Hopkins suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy. And then he has an apology tweet and says he has been shocked to test positive for a banned substance and will see everybody week 7. As he withdrew his suspension. John Lynch expects Deebo Samuel to stay with the 49ers despite still wanting a trade. If I'm the Niners, I keep Deebo Samuel. He helps you and your chances to win. And really neat here, the WNBA to honor Brittany Griner as teams will honor her with the floor decal that will be displayed on every court throughout the 2022 season. And coming down 10 minutes ago, the U.S. to discuss the Griner release as the State Department is ready to get involved after WNBA star is reclassified as wrongfully detained by Russia. It'd be great to see her back home and back on the court playing for the Phoenix Mercury. It's better for the NBA, obviously, or the WNBA, as they try to bring home one of the best players in the league back. So that kind of leads into the non-sports news. Kamala Harris negative for COVID after positive diagnosis and back at the White House on Tuesday. Last night was the Met Gala, and Mayor Adams wore an End Gun Violence tux jacket. And the big non-sports news is that Roe versus Wade might get overturned. And Kathy Hochul is horrified about it. And it might get overturned based on an alleged document leak. This is going to be a huge deal over the next couple of days. And whether it gets overturned or not, I think you'll be seeing some protests. So we'll obviously follow this as the week goes on. Before best bet, I have to go over the Gubernatorial Primaries for Ohio, which is today. It's going to be interesting. The incumbent governor is Mike DeWine. Obviously, he's a Republican. And he's obviously going to be running again. Also, in the primary, Ron Hood, former state representative from the 78th District, 91st District, 57th District, and candidate for the 15th District in 2021. Jim Renacci, former U.S. Representative for Ohio's 16th Congressional District and nominee for U.S. Senate in 2018. And Joe Blystone, who is a farmer. And among those declined, Warren Davidson, U.S. Rep for Ohio's 8th Congressional District, John Husted, Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, obviously running for re-election. Jim Jordan, U.S. Representative for Ohio's 4th Congressional District, Josh Mandel, former Ohio State Treasurer, nominee for U.S. Senate in 2012 and candidate for U.S. Senate in 2018. And Dave Yost, the Attorney General of Ohio and former Ohio State Auditor. And in the Democrat primary, which is the more interesting one because you have the incumbent as such a big favorite on the opposite side. So the two big candidates here for the left side of it is John Cranley, the former mayor of Cincinnati. He was the mayor the last decade and nominee for Ohio's 1st Congressional District in 2000 and 2006. And Nan Wally, former mayor of Dayton over the past 9 years. And he was a candidate in 2018. So it's Cranley versus Wally. And by the way, withdrawing was Ted Williams, a voiceover artist, and declined Tim Ryan, U.S. Representative for Ohio's 13th Congressional District and candidate for president in 2020, as he's running for Senate, and Amelia Sykes, who was a minority leader of the Ohio House of Representatives and state representative, and she is running for the U.S. House in Ohio's 13th Congressional District. So, obviously, on the Republican side, I think DeWine is a lock to win the red side. He's a lock, I think. And my pick for the blue side. You have two former mayors who are running. Cranley's running mate is Teresa Fader, the state senator from Ohio's 11th senatorial district, and Wally's running mate is Charles Stevens, the Cuyahoga County Council vice president. So you have Cranley and Wally. It'd be cool to see a woman win with Wally, but I think Cranley, being a big city mayor of Cincinnati, I know Dayton's another big city, but I think Cranley's going to win. I think that he has a stronger resume than Wally. And I think that being in a bigger city like Cincinnati that everybody knows about, will help him. And I think that it'll be him versus Mike DeWine come November 8th. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet's a little harder today. I won yesterday with the over in the Kings-Oilers game. That was easy. But today, I like the under in the Pirates-Tigers game a lot. Both of these offenses stink. And Michael Pineda and Bryce Wilson have not been scrubs this year. They both have pitched well. So I'm going to go under 8.5 between the Pirates and the Tigers. I know I'm getting a little cute with my best bet with banking on two bad teams not to score and to pitch well. But I'm going to do it. Under 8.5 between the Pirates and the Tigers for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything going on today from Stanley Cup and NBA and Major League Baseball. Looking ahead to everything tomorrow. We'll preview tomorrow night's episodes of The Masked Singer and Survivor. Any updates on Ohio's Gubernatorial, I'll have for you on the podcast as well. And we'll preview and predict the next golf tournament as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.